to hear from you. Also, remember, every weekday, new Heard Tell. Make sure you're subscribing on whatever platform you are. It doesn't hurt you to subscribe on more than one, by the way. If you watch us on YouTube, you can still subscribe on iTunes, whatever the case may be. We'd love to have you. Get brand new Heard Tells every weekday. Of course, the Good Talks interview segment breakouts every afternoon, twice on Sunday show on the weekend, and the deep dives when we do those. There's about 36 of them on really hard topics. We've been talking about abuse, like in the Southern Baptist Convention. You can go back and listen to Jennifer Greenberg talking about abuse and power structures all the way back. I think it was the 4th podcast we ever did, way back in the early days. So all that's there for you. It's all free. Doesn't cost you anything but a click, and make sure you're sharing it and let other people know about it. We'd sure appreciate it. And we sure appreciate you. You give us the most precious thing you have, your time. We're never going to waste it. We're always going to try to bring you good information, turning down the noise of the news cycle. So until we see you again, wherever you and yours are, across the street or around the world, we hope you are well. We hope you are well fed. Can't wait to talk to you again next time on Heard Tell. All the music on Heard Tell is provided under a Creative Content license from monstercat.com.
Bringing you the best local talk radio shows, Wilmington's Big Talker 106.7 FM, WFBT, Carolina Beach. Hey everyone, Ben Hawkins here with Cross Country Mortgage. Rates are still at historic lows, and there has never been a better time to purchase your dream home or refinance your existing. With over 300 loan products including conventional, FHA, VA, USDA, renovation, and jumbo, we are certain we have the right loan product for you and your family. Call me today to be pre-qualified to make the offer on your next dream home. 910-352-3373 or visit my website at lendwithben.com.
One Love Tennis started in 2013 to give back to young boys and girls. We now go through 460 kids a week that are learning about life skills, learning to succeed in life through academics and tennis. Putting those two together, if you do them well, you can write your own ticket. To get involved in this program, go to our website, one-love-tennis.org.
Hello, I'm Matt Bennett with WWAY News. A woman has been sentenced to prison after leaving her newborn in a trash can. Attorneys say then 21-year-old Marjorie Macedo gave birth to a baby boy in the toilet of her home in July of 2020. According to authorities and Macedo's testimony, she left the newborn crying in the toilet for several hours. Later in the afternoon, Macedo put the baby boy in a black trash bag and placed him in the trunk of her car with temperatures in the upper 80s. She then drove to get groceries before placing the newborn, still in a plastic bag, in a dumpster behind a church off Carolina Beach Road. About an hour later, a neighbor heard the newborn crying as she walked her dog and found the baby close to death. Macedo admitted to law enforcement that she had abandoned the baby. She was found guilty on all 3 counts of first-degree attempted murder, child abuse, and negligence, and will spend between 16 and 20 years in prison. The assistant district attorney says there have been no long-term health effects on the boy, and he is healthy and happy. The statewide Click It or Ticket road safety campaign is underway through June 5th. Law enforcement officers are making sure drivers and passengers are buckled up. Violators could face a fine of up to $180. If a passenger under age 16 isn't wearing a seatbelt, the driver could face a $266 fine. Children under 8 and less than 80 pounds must use an approved child safety or booster seat. And bar owners across the state would like to see a change to some existing laws. The North Carolina Bar Owners Association has partnered with legislators to change laws surrounding membership and happy hour specials. One bill would get rid of the current membership requirement for bars. The association claims this was created to help keep people of color out of bars. Another would allow happy hour specials like discounts for single drinks or bundling food and drinks at a combo price. They say allowing drink deals would attract more customers and generate additional tax money for the state. For more on these stories, you can head over to WWAYTV3.com. I'm Matt Bennett. Have a great day.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. I'm WWAY meteorologist Ramel Carpenter with the Storm Track 3 forecast. Today, going to be warm and muggy once again. That's not going to be changing anytime soon. Highs away from the coast should climb into the middle 80s. Along the immediate coastline, we're going to get into the lower 80s, but we do have a chance for a few strong to severe thunderstorms to develop later this afternoon. Into the evening hours, main concern today will be gusty winds, even some frequent lightning can't be ruled out as well. As for the overnight hours tonight, our temperatures do fall below the 70-degree mark. We're falling down into the middle and upper 60s under mostly cloudy skies. Get your full forecast on WWAY and WWAYTV3.com.
This news and weather is brought to you by Two Men and a Truck. For your free quote, go to twomenandatruck.com. twomenandatruck.com.
Folks, the sad truth of it is most of what we're seeing in the news cycle is just noise, and it's recycled noise at that. Nothing informative, nothing that actually helps us discern the times that we live in. That's why we started doing Heard Tell. Every morning right here on Big Talker Network, 7 a.m. with a replay at 3 p.m., we talk and discuss the issues of the day, culture and politics with knowledgeable guests, no yelling, no caterwauling, just grown folk talk about the issues that matter. Join me, Andrew Donaldson, every weekday morning for Heard Tell.
Hi, this is Justin Humphreys from the Humphreys Law Firm on Eastwood Road. Tune in Thursdays from 6 to 7 p.m. for Objection to the Form, covering civil litigation, real estate issues, and intellectual property. That's Objection to the Form, Thursdays 6 to 7 p.m. right here on the Big Talker 106.7 FM.
Right now, our country feels divided, but there's a place where people are coming together.
I was nervous to talk to someone so different than me.
Me too.
Love Has No Labels and One Small Step are helping people with different political views, beliefs, and experiences connect through conversation, and it feels good.
This conversation gives me hope.
It gives me a lot of hope, too.
Take a step toward bringing our country and your community together. Start a conversation at lovehasnolabels.com/one small step. A message from StoryCorps, Love Has No Labels, and the Ad Council.
Hi, welcome back to the Asylum right here on the Big Talker Network. That's right, the Asylum, your refuge in a world gone mad. Right here on a Twisted Tuesday. All kind of crazy happening in the world. And for those of you that are tired of the other news and stories and morning shows, the Asylum is here for your reprieve. Because we carry the stories nobody else will. That's right. Here on the Asylum, please visit bigtalker.live, the website. There you can peruse our schedule of content from 7 in the morning until midnight. Well, midnight to midnight, why not? You know, we got a few hours of voice in the pen. Original singer-songwriters from right here in the North Carolina area. Heard Tell, as you just experienced, one of the more mature programs. Then you got the Asylum. Yeah. And then, let's see, we have Consumer Choice Radio, Guns, Politics, Freedom. We have a whole collection of fantastic content available exclusively on the Big Talker, including Twice on Sundays, which is the week's interviews on Heard Tell by Andrew Donaldson, who should be joining us later. Got a couple of cues for him because, you know, I'm not the smart guy here. I just push buttons and slide faders, and to be honest, sometimes I don't even get that right. So, you know. Oh, yeah, I guess that's because I'm human. Working with automation in Windows 10. Anyway, so on to news that is worthy of the Asylum. Just about everybody in the United States has attended high school. For those of you who made it to the senior year, sometimes you got to do something a little silly, a little fun, a little not something the school would normally do. In one case, it turns out the students wanted to destroy the school. Not an uncommon what's the word? Not emotion, uncommon desire, uncommon visage. Anyway, this is coming out of Frisco, Texas. This is the combination of Why We Can't Have Anything Nice and Stardom Young Collide. Written by Jacqueline Ramkisoon. I guess. I don't know. WDTN out of Texas somewhere. Out of control senior prank causes thousands in damages to high school. So, if you want rioters to be effective as adults, you got to start them young. The wanton destruction of public property is usually one of the clearer indicators of a person's character. There it is. A North Texas high school had to end its school year 2 days early after an approved senior prank got out of control and caused thousands of dollars in damages to the building. Last Wednesday's evening incident occurred at Memorial High School in the Frisco Independent School District. In a letter to parents and staff, the school explained a group of students was approved to put sticky notes on the walls to decorate and place messages around the building as part of a prank. Staff members were at the school to monitor the students, but the situation devolved rapidly, the school said. Both the Frisco police and fire department got involved. Start them young, kids. If they don't know how to riot, loot, and destroy by the time they graduate high school, they're not going to be effective resistance movements people. They're not going to be effective insurrectors later in adult life. So you got to get them started on trashing stuff early. The school estimates damage to the building is in the thousands of dollars. Paint got on the walls, furniture was destroyed, fire extinguishers were discharged throughout the building, and more, the school said. Every surface on the 300,000 square foot campus must be cleaned, including the walls, ceilings, and floors. Y'all aren't cleaning the floors anyway? I mean, I understand the ceiling. But the walls and the floor, you're not cleaning those? Is that just... Is this a response to COVID? I mean, good housekeeping, ladies and gentlemen. So now they're going to have to actually clean the school. Oh my God. Anyway, sorry. The school said police in the district are working to identify the students involved in the vandalism, and the district intends to prosecute those responsible to the fullest extent of the law. The students are also expected to cover cleanup costs. Good luck with that. It's not like these kids are going to be scrambling for a newspaper route, right? Prosecute those responsible to the fullest extent of the law. We have trouble convicting killers under the age of 18 and prosecuting them to the full extent of the law. So, we'll see how that goes. Because of the damage and air quality, the school shut down Thursday and Friday, according to a letter to parents. Frisco ISD Independent School District explained Friday is the last day of school for the entire district, meaning this closure effectively ended the school year early for just the high school. Both Thursday and Friday were half days for high school students. Anyway, Memorial High students will not be making those days up, the district said. Now the school is developing a plan with parents, students, and staff to pick up personal belongings left behind at the school. Memorial High said it would send out an update with pickup times next week. That stuff gonna be dusted and ruined, right? You really want it back? You can, let's see. The letter is pretty straightforward. First, thank you to all who have reached out and volunteered to help with the campus cleanup. We appreciate your support and understanding as we work through this incident. I want to take a moment to send an update about the situation that occurred on our campus last night. Frisco ISD, Independent School District, is working with the Frisco Police Department to investigate the parties involved in the vandalism. A group of students from Memorial High was approved to use Post-it notes on the walls to decorate and place messages around the campus as part of their senior prank last night. Staff members were on site to monitor students, but the situation devolved rapidly and the Frisco Police and Fire Departments became involved. A small group of those students vandalized the campus to a point that classes are not able to be held at Memorial High School for the remainder of the week. I want to make it clear that campus and district staff are working with police to identify all individuals involved in the vandalism. Disciplinary measures will be enforced, and Frisco ISD intends to prosecute those responsible to the fullest extent of the law. Damage is estimated in the thousands of dollars and includes paint on the walls, destruction of furniture, discharge fire extinguishers throughout the campus, and more. Every surface on the 300,000 square feet campus must be cleaned, including the walls, ceilings, and floors. Frisco Independent School District will hold the students responsible for costs associated with the cleanup. You have to get through the parents first. We are currently determining a plan for parents, students, and staff to pick up personal belongings that are still at the campus. We will send a communication about times and dates for pickup sometime this week. Awesome. Completely destroyed and shut down the high school. Almost sounds like January 6th. Right there in the high school. So, yeah, you got to start them young. And this is why we can't have anything nice. Because we started him young on how to destroy, vandalize, and otherwise be little impetuous jerks. I'm supposed to adhere to FCC standards. And, man, some of these people are making it incredibly difficult to do so. Well, good morning. I guess not. I thought I had a visitor, but I don't. I have more of the Asylum approved news for you. Just have to answer some questions first. Well, this one, I'm sure, is going to probably dismay my guest joining soon. Coming from the New York Post, the title, Bottom Dollar, by Ben Koss, coming out of NewYorkPost.com. Doctors shocked to find money up patient's butt. FDR's face staring straight at me is the quote. A Missouri doctor redefined bumming money after finding a dime possibly lodged way up a patient's bottom during a rectal exam. Gastroenterologist Dr. Benjamin Schmidt's TikTok clip detailing the mishap was first posted in the fall, but now has amassed 1.2 million views. As gawkers wondered how the coin was deposited in his patient's caboose. I had never seen anything like it, and the patient had no recollection of swallowing it, said Schmidt, 34, of the man's inadvertent backdoor banking. Videos about objects found in patients' rectums certainly trigger a lot of shock, but I think this video did particularly well due to the level of mastery. Sorry, that's a Y. But I think this video did particularly well due to the level of mystery. The St. Louis-based physician known as Doc Schmidt on TikTok frequently shares videos of his wacky medical experiences for his nearly 440,000 followers on the platform. However, Schmidt said nothing compared to seeing FDR's face staring back at me while conducting a colonoscopy on a patient with a history of colon cancer. He needed a routine follow-up procedure to make sure the cancer hadn't come back, the gastroenterologist, or the gastrointestinal expert described in the clip, cleverly captioned. That's just my 10 cents. Fortunately, the patient appeared to be cancer-free. However, Schmidt grew alarmed after spotting something silver in the man's, I'm not going to pronounce that, the furthest part of the colon from the anus. The astonished doctors added, so I sprayed the area with water and found a dime. The medical practitioner was especially flummoxed by the find as the human jukebox claimed he'd never swallowed a dime before. In other words, it's unclear whether he put his money where his mouth is. The case didn't seem to make any sense, depending on how you spell it, as the human piggy bank claimed he'd never swallowed a dime before. It was equally unlikely that the poor soul put the bit in his butt, given it was found a whopping 5 feet from his anus per the clip. We really don't know how the dime got there, Schmidt exclaimed. Fortunately, Schmidt was able to relieve the man of his spare change using a net tool. Per the video, after the patient awoke from the anesthesia, the GI gave him a dime as a souvenir and sent him on his way. Hey. Needless to say, the TikTok commentariat. There we go. I pronounced it right. Needless to say, the TikTok commentariat had a field day with the patient's money troubles. He swallowed a penny from a few years back and, inflation's, quipped one jokester, while another wrote maybe he swallowed a quarter and was making change. One viewer was questioning, am I the only one who wants to know what year it was? One paranoid poster commented, I swallowed a nickel as a kid and was never worried about it until now. In retrospect, Schmidt is glad he was able to share the insane saga with his followers, the TikTok doc said. TikTok. Oh, that's cute. The TikTok. I got it. Took me a minute. Still on my first cup of coffee. This video was hugely popular, he said. I think many videos of unusual medical cases and findings do well because of the natural curiosity of humans. The guy's made of money is another quote. Schmidt recalled another hilarious discovery he made while examining a patient's penis due to reports of painful urination. At first, what I thought was a concerning black spot was actually a distorted scorpion tattoo he had gotten years earlier. Ultimately, I love to educate, and being able to make a lasting impact on people, sometimes in a completely different country, is amazing. This isn't the first time someone has gotten a strange item stuck in an unlikely place. In March, doctors diagnosed a Tunisian woman with a urinary tract infection only to discover that she had shot glass lodged in her bladder. She had reported used the drinking vessel as a sex toy 4 years ago and didn't get it checked out until much later. This is who we are. The fact that we are still alive is beyond amazing. So yeah. You bet your bottom dollar you can get nickeled and dimed to death. Ha 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 ha. Just made of money. Almost like a football player, just made of money. Well. Oh, my. No, I can't do that. That one's too much even for me. Oh, it looks like Amber Heard was in Wichita at a beauty store recently and left a gift in the middle of the floor. Ooh. Well, this one's going to be even more fun. Because I like food trucks, roach coaches, whatever you want to call them. Taco truck used as part of South Carolina drug trafficking operation. I mean, what better way? Again, coming from New York Post, David Proper. Alleged drug traffickers in South Carolina used taco trucks to transport pounds of meth, cocaine, and heroin, the state prosecutors said on Wednesday. The trucks, run by Mexican restaurant Los Primos, were used as a regional hub for a major drug dealing operation connected to Mexican cartels, according to the South Carolina Attorney General's office. 34 defendants are facing a combined 124 charges connected to the major investigation that the AG's office dubbed Los Banditos. Los Primos Banditos. The bandit cousins. Primo's his cousin, right? ¿Qué pasa, primo? What's up, cousin? So, yeah, the cousins, the bandits. It was a Mexican restaurant just like any other, attorney Creighton Waters of the AG's office said, according to the Post and Courier. It's just that there were more you could get in your styrofoam clamshells than just burritos and tacos. The restaurant owners allegedly executed the drug-running operation from both restaurants and trucks in Greenville County. 13th Circuit Solicitor Walt Wilkins called it a very large-scale organized drug operation. While this organization has ties from Mexico to numerous cities in the United States, its drug trafficking efforts and locations in Greenville County were continuing to pump poison directly into our communities. This is a great win for the citizens of Greenville County, and these numerous arrests will have an immediate and direct impact upon the citizens of Greenville and neighboring counties. Now let's chat about the haul. Authorities seized 11 kilos of meth, 1.3 pounds of cocaine, and about $63,000 in cash and more than 20 firearms. And one of them came from Anthony Spivey. The investigation indicated the conspiracy historically accounted for more than 1 ton of meth, 220 pounds of cocaine, and more than 4 pounds of heroin trafficked in South Carolina, according to prosecutors. Information gathered by a South Carolina grand jury led to the seizures across state lines in Georgia of 200 kilos of meth. Why are you all changing up? You're measuring the meth in kilos. Normally it was kilos of cocaine and pounds of meth. Why y'all mixing this up? This is like millimeters and inches. You can't do that. So now I have to open up one of my other applications and go through and compare all this, get them into some sort of common reference. What the hell kind of idiot does this? It's kilos of this, pounds of that, and ounces of that. 180 pounds of marijuana, 900 Xanax pills, 7.7 pounds of cocaine, 7 pounds of heroin, 180 pounds of weed, 900 Xanax pills, several firearms, and found in several Atlanta apartments and stash houses. South Carolina Attorney General Alan Wilson said his office is committed to fight the corrosive effect drug trafficking has on our communities. Well, obviously, education isn't helping, because y'all can't, it's absolutely, you can't, a pound weighs less than a kilo, just to let you know. So, let's see, 200 kilos. Let's do a little something here. No. Silly computer. By the way, 200 kilograms is 441 pounds. Now I gotta wait 10 minutes for the story to reload so that I can tell you that 400 pounds, 441 pounds of meth, 7 pounds of cocaine, 100 pounds, 180 pounds of marijuana. 11 kilos of meth would be, what, about 23 pounds, right? It's embarrassing that these people are educated and are employed at this level at the New York Post, and they can't seem to get their units straight. If you're going to go with imperial measurements, stick with imperial measurements. If you're going to go start your stuff with metric measurements, stick with it. If you're going to blend them, translate them. This is very bad form. This is lazy form. This is America, though. I don't know why I'm complaining. This is how most people get through USC. You don't need any decent grades. All you need is a lot of money. I mean, that's education in America, right? Donald Trump is an idiot, but, with enough money, he's considered a genius, I guess. I don't know. Same thing with Kanye West. There's a lot of times that money is misidentified as intelligence, right? It only works with, like, Bezos and Musk and what's the other guy, Gates? I still consider Bill Gates a thief, and he's doing everything he can to atone for his sins back in college. But that's me. That's me. Because I was around in college when all that happened. Yes, I remember working on computers before there was Windows. And it only got better. Oh, yes, it's time to get that fog out of your head, get your day started. That's why we have the Asylum, your refuge in a world gone mad, right here on the Big Talker Network. We're about to take a break, catch up on some news, weather, and other events, and then we'll have one of those really invigorating conversations with whoever calls in. Anyway, don't go nowhere. It's the Asylum, your refuge in a world gone mad. We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Matt Bennett with WWAY News. A woman has been sentenced to prison after leaving her newborn in a trash can. Attorneys say then 21-year-old Marjorie Macedo gave birth to a baby boy in the toilet of her home in July of 2020. According to authorities and Macedo's testimony, she left the newborn crying in the toilet for several hours. Later in the afternoon, Macedo put the baby boy in a black trash bag and placed him in the trunk of her car with temperatures in the upper 80s. She then drove to get groceries before placing the newborn, still in a plastic bag, in a dumpster behind a church off Carolina Beach Road. About an hour later, a neighbor heard the newborn crying as she walked her dog and found the baby close to death. Macedo admitted to law enforcement that she had abandoned the baby. She was found guilty on all 3 counts of first-degree attempted murder, child abuse, and negligence, and will spend between 16 and 20 years in prison. The assistant district attorney says there have been no long-term health effects on the boy, and he is healthy and happy. The statewide Click It or Ticket road safety campaign is underway through June 5th. Law enforcement officers are making sure drivers and passengers are buckled up. Violators could face a fine of up to $180. If a passenger under age 16 isn't wearing a seatbelt, the driver could face a $266 fine. Children under 8 and less than 80 pounds must use an approved child safety or booster seat. And bar owners across the state would like to see a change to some existing laws. The North Carolina Bar Owners Association has partnered with legislators to change laws surrounding membership and happy hour specials. One bill would get rid of the current membership requirement for bars. The association claims this was created to help keep people of color out of bars. Another would allow happy hour specials like discounts for single drinks or bundling food and drinks at a combo price. They say allowing drink deals would attract more customers and generate additional tax money for the state. For more on these stories, you can head over to WWAYTV3.com. I'm Matt Bennett. Have a great day.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. I'm WWAY meteorologist Ramel Carpenter with the Storm Track 3 forecast. Today, going to be warm and muggy once again. That's not going to be changing anytime soon. Highs away from the coast should climb into the middle 80s along the immediate coastline. We're going to get into the lower 80s, but we do have a chance for a few strong to severe thunderstorms to develop later this afternoon into the evening hours. Main concern today will be gusty winds, even some frequent lightning can't be ruled out as well. As for the overnight hours tonight, our temperatures do fall below the 70-degree mark. We're falling down into the middle and upper 60s under mostly cloudy skies. Get your full forecast on WWAY and WWAYTV3.com.
This news and weather is brought to you by 2 Men and a Truck. For your free quote, go to 2menandatruck.com. 2menandatruck.com.
My name is Brian Wilson. I'm running for District Court Judge. During my lifetime, I've gone from protecting your God-given and constitutional freedoms as a combat vet of the U.S. military to working locally as a carpenter building homes while I worked my way through college. For the past 17 years, I've been protecting and defending your constitutional rights in the courtroom. I'm currently protecting our rights of our most vulnerable, our children, as the guardian ad litem attorney advocate for the children of Brunswick, Columbus, and Bladen County. I've spent my career serving our country, our state, and our communities, so I ask that you continue your confidence by voting for me, Brian Wilson, in the primary elections on May 17th. Thank you.
Hey, I'm Yael Osowski.
And I'm David Clement.
We're the host of Consumer Choice Radio, broadcasting every Saturday at 10 a.m. here on the Big Talker 106.7 FM.
Consumer Choice Radio is a weekly conversation featuring the latest news, interviews, and expert analysis that covers consumer topics from around the world.
ConsumerChoiceRadio.com.
Enjoying Big Talker Network is as easy as asking for it. Program your digital home assistants such as Google Home, Alexa, and Siri to stream Big Talker Network content by simple voice command. Enjoy convenient hands-free access to program whenever you want, however you want by asking for Big Talker.
Hey, welcome back to the Asylum, your refuge in a world gone mad, right here on the Big Talker Network. Lots of news happening around the world, lots of other people talking about the same news stories. Here at the Asylum, we bring you the news stories nobody else will. I don't know if it's because they're scared, they're weak, or if they just aren't as interesting and entertaining as we are here at the Asylum. By the way, bigtalker.live is our website. Send us an email with any questions, comments, concerns, critiques, or compliments you may have. We cannot improve without your feedback. And it only takes a moment, if you're on one of our socials, to click the like, share, subscribe, and maybe leave a comment, for good or bad. Yeah, we listen to them all. We might laugh at it first, and then we'll, do something about it. Maybe. I mean, I will say in all fairness that we are more responsive than most local governments. How's that? Certainly state and federal governments. Anyway. Anybody listening to this is aware of or is quite proud of the fact that the United States has one of the best armies on the planet. However, the army is, how would you say, populated by a unique mammalian species of mammal, known as Hominid americanus. That's right. Only in the American Army will you have American people who are undefeated as being people, right? I mean, the nature of America's, Hominid Americas, is undefeated. It's predictable. Whether you're in Florida or South Carolina or Chadburn, North Carolina, where Anthony Spivey was, Americans are everywhere, including the Army. ArmyTimes.com, Davis Winky is writing an article about an officer who motorboated a subordinate at promotion ceremony and was allowed to retire after a guilty plea. A former Louisiana National Guard officer was allowed to retire after a general court-martial convicted him of charges stemming from, you guessed it, motorboating a subordinate soldier during an informal promotion ceremony while deplorable, ladies and gentlemen, during an informal promotion ceremony while deployed to Jordan in May of 2021, Army Times has confirmed. Captain Billy Joe Crosby Jr., a logistics officer who was once overseas with the 256th Infantry Brigade combat team during its recent deployment, was initially charged with abusive sexual contact and conduct unbecoming an officer. According to court records obtained by Army Times, Crosby was the officer in charge of an outpost in Jordan. Major Jessica Rovero, a spokesman for the command and overseeing the trial, told Army Times in a statement that Crosby's behavior is not in line with Army values. Rovero added that multiple soldiers immediately reported the behavior and Crosby pled guilty at trial. The guilty plea came with strings attached, though. The officer struck a deal that erased the abusive sexual contact charge. He pled guilty to assault consummated by battery, a non-sexual offense, and conduct unbecoming, records reveal. Crosby, a prior enlisted soldier who participated in the 1989 invasion in Panama, was confined for 30 days. The plea deal also prevented the judge from dismissing him from the Army, which would have kept him from collecting his retirement. A Louisiana National Guard spokesperson, Lieutenant Colonel Noel Collins, confirmed that Crosby retired March 31 after completing his confinement and returning home. Crosby did not respond to an emailed request for comment. Imagine that. So, what did Crosby do? When he learned that the junior soldier was selected for promotion, Crosby reportedly announced to her twice that he intended to motorboat her during the promotion ceremony because the Army combat uniform's chest-placed rank patch was intended for such actions. An NCO witnessed both statements according to a motion filed by prosecutors. Prosecutors described motorboating as when a person places his or her face between a woman's breasts and shakes his or her head back and forth while making sounds resembling a motorboat. It had to be described in court, ladies and gentlemen. That's hilarious. It gets worse than that. Weeks before the assault, Crosby also told the NCO that he wanted to bring the junior soldier with him on a driving trip to another base in Jordan. The NCO told investigators that Crosby requested the soldier's company because he liked looking at her well. And never mind, the junior soldier told Crosby the day before the assault that she did not want a promotion ceremony. Neither would I. Thank you very much. But during work the following day, according to a prosecution motion, Crosby approached the junior soldier, told her to stand up, placed the rank in front of her chest, leaned in to grab the rank with his teeth, then placed his face between the junior soldier's breasts and vigorously moved his head from side to side between her breasts while still holding the rank with his teeth. It's not clear when the crime was reported, nor is it clear who reported it, but court documents indicate the agents from the Army's Criminal Investigation Division were interviewing witnesses within 2 weeks of the incident. Crosby, who initially declared he would plead not guilty, changed his plea after negotiating a plea that reduced the charges and protected his retirement. The removal of the abusive sexual contact charge, which was dismissed as part of the deal, also meant that he did not have to register as a sex offender. Protecting their own, aren't they? Although the deal took away the possibility of an other than honorable discharge and reduced his maximum confinement to 120 days, the judge only sentenced Crosby to 30 days and did not direct a reprimand, fines, or forfeitures. Crosby's brigade had other disciplinary issues during his 2021 mobilization, which saw most of the units sent to the Middle East. Some other elements of the brigade went to the federally controlled mission supporting officials at the U.S.-Mexico border. A Louisiana Guard cavalry troop operating in South Texas was temporarily disbanded after widespread issues with sexual harassment, discipline, and command climate. Imagine that. The state returned its troops from the border mission on a month ahead of schedule after 2 soldiers died in alcohol-related incidents, though the state spokesperson said the move was unrelated to the problems the unit had faced. By the way, the author's name was misprinted at the top of the article, corrected at the bottom of the article. Davis Winky, not David, Davis. So, didn't quite make it into the regular Army, so I'm not sure what the National Guard purpose, I guess, what's they guard the nation. Okay, National Guard, I'll ride with that one for a minute, but they're not regular Army, so I'm wondering how National Guard popped up in Jordan. I don't understand these things. That's because I'm not a smart guy, and I admit it. But these actions are reprehensible, and the fact that he was allowed to plea out of a sexual misconduct, the whole thing was sexual based, the whole thing. But this is not a widespread problem. It never happens in the Baptist Church, the Catholic Church, the Boy Scouts of America, or anywhere else. We are all appropriate adults, aren't we? That just seems like the perfect way to, introduce people into the Army is motorboating them. That's how you do a promotion, right? Did anybody bother to ask the person involved with it? He just told her, I'm going to motorboat you. I mean, she should have been allowed to just, slap him right there and start the charging. Dude, stop it. He was initially charged with abusive sexual contact. With abusive sexual contact. And that was the first part to go. In my plea deal, I want to get rid of all the sexual stuff so I don't have to live my life as a... Well, if you do like Jerome Edward Moore Sr. did, all you do is move quickly and don't tell anybody so you don't have to register as a sex offender in another state. You could have gotten around that. The fact that he still has a retirement package is bothersome. We are rewarding the man for being a heinous human. Or are we rewarding him for being the ultimate hominid Americus? I don't know. But at least it's not in the regular army. Even though they are representing the United States and are sort of part of the army when they're in Jordan mobilized. And of course, when you're on the border of Mexico and tequila costs, 50 cents a shot, it's not unexpected to have some sort of alcohol-related issue. But this is another one of those systemic, this is just the crack. This is we're just now kind of figuring this out. If anybody wasn't paying attention to the Southern Baptist Convention recently, that was a bit of a nuclear blast in the middle of that conservative environment. Right? It's been uncovered in the Catholic Church, not just in America, but around the world. It was also discovered, and very upsettingly, the Boy Scouts. I didn't understand a lot of that connection until my friend Andrew spelled it out for me, and now we got this in the Army, or at least in the National Guard. I'm sure the Army has never experienced sexual misconduct or inappropriate behaviors ever in the 200 years that we've had an Army. $250, something like that. Makes you wonder what for what was this man promoted all the way to major? Oh, captain. Sorry, captain. Yeah, that's just Captain Crosby. And Major Jessica, oh wait, she's the spokesperson. The fact that he struck a deal that, quote, erased the abusive sexual contact charge. He pled guilty to assault consummated by battery, which is a non-sexual offense, which protected his retirement and limited his incarceration to no more than 120 days. Must have been friendly with the judge, because he only got a fourth of that, 30 days. If it had happened to you, me, or somebody with skin color darker than a paper bag, they would still be in the prison. But just because you're a woman means that the Army can treat you, your superiors, as it were. I don't know, but this has been true. I guess what we need to address is that this is just the fourth tine in the trident, if you will. Right? Because if you can find this type of widespread sexual misconduct in the Catholic Church and the Boy Scouts of America and the Southern Baptist Convention and the U.S. Army, National Guard, something's happening here, people. Good old boys ain't good. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Maybe we should do something about, this is almost as effective as the raising or lowering of the legal limit of being drunk, the blood alcohol concentration. They reduced it from 0.08 to 0.05, and all that did was raise money. It didn't curb drunk driving. All it did was make more drivers pop as drunk, and then you can take them to court, charge the hell out of them. But there's been no serious impact on the results of drunk driving. Because it's just, a slap on the wrist. The entire charge can be written off as a Visa debt. Seriously. Right? And I've heard people describe it this way. Yes, he got popped for drunk driving. Not that this person's a friend of mine. He was bragging about it, that as soon as he was arraigned and he pleaded guilty to, a lesser crime, and they did this and that, and he had to go, instead of being, point A and whatever, they negotiated something. And the guy literally walked downstairs and cleared his name by sliding some plastic into a credit card reader and paying off the fine, walking out literally scot-free. That's rewarding that behavior. Hey, it's almost like what do they call that in the Catholic Church when you pay for something that you know is going to be wrong? Not privileges. What's it called? I knew I should have paid better attention in catechism class. Indulgences. There it is. I think. Isn't that the right? So you pay your indulgences to any given financial establishment, right? I don't think this guy paid a fine. Yeah, he didn't have to pay money. He didn't have to do anything. And it protected his retirement. Now, I'm not going to take anything away from his service, but his behavior certainly would have warranted the forfeiture of something. Right? I mean, y'all, this guy makes the rest of us look bad. I mean, that's just horrible, horrible human being. Absolutely horrible. Huh. I don't even know, man. That's painful. Wrong one. That is just painful. This is not the type of representation we need, certainly in other countries, certainly within our own ranks. Whew. I mean, that's just incompetence. Oh, Ohio. My favorite place. Let's see. Driver trying to flee gets stuck in wet concrete. Again, education. Rochester, Minnesota. Sorry, the story popped out of Ohio, or is covered in the event. As written by Lauren Silver in Rochester, Minnesota, a woman is facing charges and a construction project has been delayed after she tried to escape from police but got stuck in wet concrete. Instead, officers with the Rochester Police Department were first called to the scene because a 53-year-old woman was using a bullhorn to yell at people from her car. When an officer activated the cruiser's lights and siren, the woman apparently yelled in the bullhorn, "Oh, look, I'm getting pulled over." Amanda Grayson, who handles crime prevention and communication from the department, told the Post-Bulletin. Grayson told the Post-Bulletin that the driver then cut off oncoming traffic and tried to speed away, but drove into wet concrete instead. Photos from KTTC show the car's wheels covered in concrete after driving approximately 150 feet through barricades and into the construction zone. Apparently, this woman has been driving around town yelling at people through a bullhorn, spreading the word of God. That's from one of the witnesses. The project's contractor reported $30,000 to $40,000 in damages from the accident. Rochester Police Department Captain Casey Moylanen told the Post-Bulletin that this was not the first interaction officers have had with the driver, saying that officers had stopped an earlier pursuit with her an hour prior to her arrest. Moylanen told the outlet that the department has responded to at least 9 incidents involving the woman, including complaints about the woman's driving and her using a bullhorn to yell at people. Moylanen told the Post-Bulletin the woman said she was spreading the word of God. That's just wrong. So yeah, let's hope she doesn't get a license again. That's just not right. That's just just put the key in the ignition, pay attention where you're going, don't hit nobody. It's pretty easy to do, you know. Oh, hey, my computer's telling me something. I'm guessing it's time for us to take a bit of a break at the top of the hour. So, the Asylum, your refuge in the world gone mad. Be right back after this. Don't go nowhere.
Keeping Charlotte informed. The Big Talker 106.7 FM WFBT, Carolina Beach.
I'm a medical assistant. I'm the first person you see at the doctor's office. I love what I do. I never have the same day twice, and my job is stable, flexible, and important. And I have options. Medical assistants are in demand. I can work in a variety of healthcare settings, including specialty physicians' offices, hospitals, and in any healthcare facility. I'm a role model for my kids and a trusted healthcare professional at work. I got my start at CFCC, and you can too. Visit cfcc.edu/medical assisting and get started today.
Enjoying Big Talker Network is as easy as asking for it. Program your digital home assistants such as Google Home, Alexa, and Siri to stream Big Talker Network content by simple voice command. Enjoy convenient hands-free access to the program whenever you want, however you want by asking for Big Talker.
Listen to Tom Goolsby on The Chad Adams Show.
People with common sense know that the entire theory of socialism is one big lie.
The Big Talker 106.7 FM.
Hello, I'm Matt Bennett with WWAY News. A woman has been sentenced to prison after leaving her newborn in a trash can. Attorneys say then 21-year-old Marjorie Macedo gave birth to a baby boy in the toilet of her home in July of 2020. According to authorities and Macedo's testimony, she left the newborn crying in the toilet for several hours. Later in the afternoon, Macedo put the baby boy in a black trash bag and placed him in the trunk of her car with temperatures in the upper 80s. She then drove to get groceries before placing the newborn, still in a plastic bag, in a dumpster behind a church off Carolina Beach Road. About an hour later, a neighbor heard the newborn crying as she walked her dog and found the baby close to death. Macedo admitted to law enforcement that she had abandoned the baby. She was found guilty on all 3 counts of first-degree attempted murder, child abuse, and negligence, and will spend between 16 and 20 years in prison. The assistant district attorney says there have been no long-term health effects on the boy, and he is healthy and happy. The statewide Click It or Ticket road safety campaign is underway through June 5th. Law enforcement officers are making sure drivers and passengers are buckled up. Violators could face a fine of up to $180. If a passenger under age 16 isn't wearing a seatbelt, The driver could face a $266 fine. Children under 8 and less than 80 pounds must use an approved child safety or booster seat. And bar owners across the state would like to see a change to some existing laws. The North Carolina Bar Owners Association has partnered with legislators to change laws surrounding membership and happy hour specials. One bill would get rid of the current membership requirement for bars. The association claims this was created to help keep people of color out of bars. Another would allow happy hour specials like discounts for single drinks or bundling food and drinks at a combo price. They say allowing drink deals would attract more customers and generate additional tax money for the state. For more on these stories, you can head over to WWAYTV3.com. I'm Matt Bennett. Have a great day.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. I'm WWAY meteorologist Ramel Carpenter with the Storm Track 3 forecast. Today, going to be warm and muggy once again. That's not going to be changing anytime soon. Highs away from the coast should climb into the middle 80s along the immediate coastline. We're going to get into the lower 80s, but we do have a chance for a few strong to severe thunderstorms to develop later this afternoon. Into the evening hours, main concern today will be gusty winds, even some frequent lightning can't be ruled out as well. As for the overnight hours tonight, our temperatures do fall below the 70-degree mark. We're falling down into the middle and upper 60s under mostly cloudy skies. Get your full forecast on WWAY and WWAYTV3.com.
This news and weather is brought to you by Two Men and a Truck. For your free quote, go to twomenandatruck.com. twomenandatruck.com.
Folks, we all know ongoing road construction and traffic can weigh heavy on your vehicle. Since 2006, O'Leary's Automotive Repair has provided comprehensive repair services at affordable prices to get you back on the road in no time. Their ASE certified technicians will help you find a cost-effective repair and maintenance alternatives. O'Leary's has multiple locations in the area in Hampstead, Leland, the Myrtle Grove area, Ogden, and Wrightsboro. O'Leary's Automotive Repair, a trusted, locally owned business since 2006.
Hi, I'm Danica Patrick. Watching my nieces grow, play, and learn is amazing, but not every child gets to be carefree. 1 in 6 kids in the U.S. are hungry. This breaks my heart, and it's something that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste and gives it to families in need. To help, visit feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Enjoying Big Talker Network is as easy as asking for it. Program your digital home assistants such as Google Home, Alexa, and Siri to stream Big Talker Network content by simple voice command. Enjoy convenient hands-free access to program whenever you want, however you want by asking for Big Talker.
Hey, welcome back to the Asylum, your refuge in a world gone mad, right here on the Big Talker Network. BigTalker.live is the website. Peruse our content. Get a good idea of what's going on, what we're doing, what we're about. Maybe you can join up, help out, sign in, sign up. I don't know. We do all kinds of cool stuff, and we'd love to bring you along with it. Personally, I am excited to tell you about a new record that just dropped from Miss Taylor. That's right. The new record is called The new record is called Jesus, Guns, Babies. That's right. You can catch it today live in Georgia. Oh, wait a minute. That's not a record. That's Candace Taylor's slogan to become Georgia governor. Jesus, Guns, Babies. That's her slogan. Jesus, Guns, Babies. And her Twitters include things like, or where was the other one? Oh, she has some bat crazy stuff on here. And now I can't find it because... Anyway, she's trying to say that that the church runs the state of Georgia. All right? There's a lot at stake today, Georgia. That's right. Getting you the hell out of there is probably one of the first ones, right? I'm going to see if I can pull up some of her Twitters to let you realize how men are horrible, right? Captain Crosby demonstrated that when promoting another member of his team, and he had to go all brutal sexual stupid on her. We got Madison Cawthorn with cocaine orgies, right? Yeah, hominid Americanus is not limited to gender because this Candace Taylor woman is completely out of control. Elect me governor of Georgia, and I will bring the satanic regime to its knees and demolish the Georgia Guidestones. I am the only candidate bold enough to stand up to the Luciferian cabal. What? I'm going to get to the one that really... Jesus, guns, babies. Morality over money. Uh-huh. Jesus, guns, babies. How's that? Stop it. I don't want to see anything from that. Unbelievable. I'm trying to find the tweet that's really that should really light everybody up. And it looks like they're trying to hide it because she's trying to say that she is, that the church runs the state. And she posted this on Facebook, and I got into a battle with it until most of the people realized that the separation of church and state, and her argument is one way, meaning that the country cannot define a religion for the nation. Fair enough. However, the reverse is also true, and she refuses to understand that by her saying, Jesus, 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 you cut out and you have pretty much offended everybody who does not have a Judeo-Christian belief system. I mean, how did the Jewish people in her community take this message? Isn't that insane? Isn't that crazy? But that's what she's standing on. Stop it. I really hate Twitter. It does not make sense. It does not. Do y'all understand that we are losing our country? We're losing our freedom. We're being politically correct. It's destroying us from within. 2022 is our one shot to get this right. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup runneth over. I don't understand how anyone can vote for Kemper Rappersberger after watching 2,000 Mules. Disgusting. The fact that you're even on the ballot is offensive. Come on, where is it? I need the one where she says directly, and I'll quote the date, everything. I won't bend my knee to anyone but Jesus. Good luck to the establishment. I don't believe in luck. I'm going to show the rest of America what state sovereignty looks like in Georgia. Voting tampering. This is 100% false and a blatant lie. Our legal team is all over this. What? Come on now. Stop it. The choice is black and white. You're either voting for Candace or you're voting for Candace. Oh, that's because she has two. Oh, I get it. She has a white bus and a black bus. And they both say Jesus, guns, babies. The best record title ever. The satanic WHO meeting is the 22nd to the 28th. There will put all global citizens under total WHO and UN control, smearing national constitutions and sovereignty. The only reason why you know how to spell the word sovereignty is because of the spelled corrector. Come on, where's that really incendiary tweet? Time to take out the trash. How cutesy. Jesus is king. He can do whatever he wants. This is not the place. You know, right? Politics is not where you go to, like, thou shalt not commit adultery. Right there in the halls. Okay. I'm the only candidate willing to stand up to the satanic cabal. Or what do they call it? Luciferian cabal. What? Jesus, guns, babies. I mean, it's everywhere. Jesus, guns, babies. Jesus, guns, babies. So if you want Jesus to gun babies, then you want Candace Taylor. This post has zero to do with abortion. That's what you get for assuming. Watch 2,000 Mules. What? This person is definitely just off her smeggin' rocker. A mule, a person who smuggled or delivered illicit such as drugs, in this case illicit ballots. This is treason. This is the worst in the felony. Get him, Lord. Get him, Lord. Go get him, Lord. I sent $50 to the church. You should go after him. Come on, where's the one she says, I am the church? Or the church runs. Come on, where is that tweet? That should be like at the top of her list. Standing to the Luciferian cabal. It's horrible, ladies and gentlemen. It's frightening how little she understands about separation of church and state. And if you base your entire campaign, and this is the argument I had with a number of the other candidates, and they all had to eventually agree that basing your campaign and therefore your candidate on one particular religious platform and blasting that thing as in all the rest of you suck, which is basically what she's saying, that because I don't believe in her Jesus, I am not worthy of representation. Because I don't believe in her Jesus and don't give her money, that I am going to be condemned to a life of hell or an afterlife of, or whatever her little imagination is coming up with. Okay, that's flipping ridiculous. Oops, that's not the one I wanted. I wanted that one. And now I want to find out where that... Oh, man. It's amazing how quickly that one disappeared. Absolutely amazing how quickly that one disappeared. Oh, there we go. Business Insider. All right, we're gonna jump into a real place instead of listening or reading any crap that woman put out later. I mean, that's ridiculous. Stop it. I don't care about you. I really don't. GOP gubernatorial candidate running on Jesus Guns Babies platform says the church rules the state of Georgia. Again, the best death metal record title ever. Jesus Guns Babies. Jesus Guns Babies. At a Sunday campaign event recently, GOP candidate for governor Candace Taylor delivered an anti-abortion speech that criticized the separation of church and state, saying, "The church runs the state of Georgia." Well, there's your problem. "We're going to do a political rally and we're going to honor Jesus because he's going to gun a baby." I guess, I don't know, Taylor said while standing in front of her campaign bus, which has her "Jesus Guns Babies" slogan boldly painted on the side. "They're not going to tell us separation of church and state. We are the church. We run this state." That is out of control. I'm not the best typist in the world. I'm working on it. Taylor's speech criticized the Luciferian regime taking over the state of Georgia and accused current Governor Brian Kemp of selling out the state to Chinese Communist Party, but did not offer specifics on how he is doing so. That's about as real as the Luciferian cabal, or regime, I'm sorry, the satanic cabal and the Luciferian regime. This is like denazifying the South or something. I don't get it. Taylor is challenging incumbent Kemp and Trump-backed candidate David Perdue for the Republican nomination for governor. The primary election will be held Tuesday. The best thing that can happen is all three of these people are not elected. "The church runs the state of Georgia." This is her again. If Insider would stop trying to hit me with every ad that I'm not going to pay for. I can really afford a new Mercedes, right? That's the ad you're going to show me. "The church runs the state of Georgia. This state is sovereign. This is our state. We decide what happens. We decide if we kill babies." Jesus kills babies. I'm sorry, Jesus guns babies. Taylor added on us. That's our choice. I pray Roe versus Wade gets overturned. It should be, but let's get one thing straight. The states didn't give them the right to have Roe versus Wade to begin with. Taylor's campaign did not immediately respond to insiders' requests for comment. Imagine that. The church runs the state. Even if you're religious, I get it. Even if you are a pontiff in a congregation or whatever these terms are, I don't get it. I never followed that. It just never made sense. And the people trying to tell me they're better than I am are people that I do not want anywhere near me or my family. Right? I do not think that this everlasting life is the, dream to hang out with people like you. Well, certainly like this person, Candace Taylor. I mean, if there's any reason to not live in Georgia, that's one of them. The piece of work she is. Luciferian cabal, or Luciferian regime and satanic cabal. Those are the issues facing Georgia. Right? Not sexual misconduct, not improprieties in the voting and Attorney General's office. I mean, there's all kind of problems with Georgia, but they can all be saved by Jesus, guns, babies. Miraculous. All we had to do was have Jesus pop off a few rounds, knock out a few little ones, and we're good. All crisis averted. Now, the latest polls that I was able to get my hands on shows her at like 6%. The other two guys are well into the 40s and fighting each other, Kemp and Purdue. And then this waste of time, this sorry sack of human flesh, this embarrassment to the entire female gender side of things, this embarrassment is coming up with the Jesus, guns, babies. Again, the first metal band that comes up with that album gets my money. All right? Jesus, guns, babies. That's the hit. The title track is going to be a riot. Get it? A riot because Jesus kills babies. That would be a riot. And why not at the rally? Jesus could come down from the rafters and start doing his thing right there. And do you think with Jesus, guns, babies, he's going to use what? A handgun, a rifle, a shotgun? A howitzer, a Browning 50 cal, maybe an 8-inch. I don't know. But Jesus, guns, babies was probably not the best way you could have gone about this. And of course, trying to overturn the entire, we run the state, we are the church. Separation of church and state. I had to respond, and I'm like, look, this lady just needs to read the Constitution, man. And then her argument about repealing, as it were, the separation of church and state, not understanding that the very thing that she's doing is the exact type of prejudicial demonstration that we're trying to combat in this country. So it doesn't matter if you're black or white or green. If you don't believe in the right Jesus, then this woman doesn't want to represent you. You are not worthy of her time, attention, or representation. You are not worthy to be a Georgian if you are not believing in her Jesus, guns, babies. The Jesus I was introduced to as a child never had a gun. Maybe I missed something. I mean, I wasn't alive back then. I mean, I'm old. I'm not that old. I mean, I don't remember the Industrial Revolution. I mean, that was already well underway by the time my little body squirted out into the atmosphere. But this woman, she knows better than the framers and the original founding fathers. Knows more than lawyers, because I don't think that this woman has any real experience as to who or what she is, right? I mean, who is she? Newsweek even wrote on this a little bit. GOP candidate says, we are the church and we run the state, in a viral video that I am not going to play. A video of GOP gubernatorial candidate Candace Taylor appearing to denounce Separation of church and state has been viewed more than 670,000. That's scary. It shouldn't have been viewed but like 5 times and then struck by YouTube for being stupid. Taylor made the remark during the Georgia Republican Assembly on April 2nd, but a video capturing the remark shared by Patriot Takes went viral on Twitter over the weekend, with many condemning her comments. Don't talk to me about separation of church and state, she said. Church and state was written because the state has no business in our church, but we are the church. We are the church, and we run the state. Georgia Republican candidate Candace Taylor goes full theocracy, explaining her Jesus Guns Babies slogan. Man, that's going to be an awesome record. She said that Georgia is sovereign, and we're running the state with Jesus Christ first, before adding that other religions don't get to silence Christians. The good thing about the First Amendment is that if you're a Jew or you're a Muslim or you're a Buddhist, you still get to worship your God because you're in America, but you don't get to silence us. Some viewers responded to the video with criticism, arguing her remarks went against the U.S. Constitution. But in a statement to Newsweek on Monday, she defended the remarks, writing, "I stand behind what I said 100%. You go, Karen. This goes against the Constitution of the United States, wrote Rocky Mountain News. The Jews says, kiss my tuchus, Candace. Go pray in church. Keep it out of politics. Not everyone is Christian. There's freedom of religion, and I don't need to hear it. There's separation of church and state for a reason. What a jack. Oh, written by Broken Destinies." Taylor responded to criticisms in a tweet Sunday evening. "The more I hear people say for me to take Jesus out of my campaign, the more I double down. Hello, here's why I'm running for governor. I don't compromise." Later in the video, Taylor, discussing guns, said that people have the right to protect themselves from a tyrannical government, pointing to Australia as an example. Australia has come under fire from U.S. conservatives for strict COVID restrictions, according to Cato's Institute Human Freedom Index. Australia has a higher score for both personal and human freedoms than the United States. Take that, Candace. Taylor is one of several Republicans challenging Georgia Governor Brian Kemp, who has faced criticism for some conservatives for rebuking former Donald Trump's unfounded claims of election fraud. Within the GOP primary, she typically polls in the single digits. Single digits, ladies and gentlemen. That means 9 or less. If there were 10 people in the deal and she got 9 percentage points, that's, that's almost average. That'd be 10 each to make them total. But in her case, there's 3 and she's got, never mind, single digits. She is trailing both Kemp and Trump-backed David Perdue, who previously served as a United States Senator. She previously ran for U.S. Senate in 2020, winning less than 1% of the vote. I think this woman is basically a distraction and a PITA, P-I-T-A. If you don't know what that is, please send me a text and I will be glad to explain it to you. More than happy to help broaden your lexicon. So yeah, if anybody thought that your church was the best way to run a state, you're about to get your wish, right? Or if this woman had her way. Personally, I think she should be, taken out of American civilization, steeped, educated, edified in the Constitution and the concept of church and state, maybe a rehash of events from, say, 1938 to 1947. We'll see what happens. Maybe we take a look at some of the other theocratic governments around the country. We can find her a position in one of those arrangements that, their Jesus comes first. It might not be the Jesus you want or the Jesus you think of that looks like Qui-Gon Jinn from Star Wars. You could try that again, but you'd be prepared to wear a burqa. But those are governments that don't have separation of church and state, and it shows. So many folks should, reconsider who they have in their so much about. This is. I'm not the smartest guy in the world, and this one really got my goat. Because here's someone trying to say to you, you can't tell me what to do, and yet you're trying to tell everybody what to do. Huh? Eh? I admit it took me a couple of minutes to put that one together. You know, the smart people, right, in America are probably got it a lot faster than I did. It took me a second. There was an uncomfortable feeling in the back of my brain when I read that this person was running for office and this whole Jesus, guns, babies thing. Immediately, I couldn't help but think of, like, the best five-finger death punch or, you know, somebody like that or Lamb of God or somebody, you know, putting out an album called Jesus, Guns, Babies. That'd be awesome. Marilyn Manson, if you want to get, like, you get your street cred back and get out of, you know, that whole, oh my God, I can't believe you guy, then maybe you should come up with, Jesus, Guns, Babies. I think it should be a challenge. Every metal band in America should have, like, you know, instead of the Masked Singer or something stupid like that, everybody write a song based on that theme, and the best one wins. Jesus, Guns, Babies. That's the title. Everybody needs to write a song with that as the chorus. Jesus, Guns, Babies. And the thing is, are we sure that guns is a noun in this or a verb? Are we sure? Or are these like the top 3 things that we really don't care about in politics? Jesus is one. He's not in politics. He's not involved in the Constitution whatsoever. The right to bear arms is one thing, but that's not the guns. That's not like, you know, they're going to hand us guns. It's not like we are entitled at birth to be handed an AK-47 and a 30-round magazine. Oh, and babies. Jesus, guns, babies. I'm sorry. I need a break. I'll be right back. I'm going to use this opportunity to get some more coffee. Oh. And you can take this opportunity to jot down the phone number and call me up and say whatever you like. Keep in mind I have the mute button. Don't go nowhere. The Asylum, your refuge in a world gone mad. We'll be right back after this.
Hello, I'm Matt Bennett with WWAY News. A woman has been sentenced to prison after leaving her newborn in a trash can. Attorneys say then 21-year-old Marjorie Macedo gave birth to a baby boy in the toilet of her home in July of 2020. According to authorities and Macedo's testimony, she left the newborn crying in the toilet for several hours. Later in the afternoon, Macedo put the baby boy in a black trash bag and placed him in the trunk of her car with temperatures in the upper 80s. She then drove to get groceries before placing the newborn, still in a plastic bag, in a dumpster behind a church off Carolina Beach Road. About an hour later, a neighbor heard the newborn crying as she walked her dog and found the baby close to death. Macedo admitted to law enforcement that she had abandoned the baby. She was found guilty on all 3 counts of first-degree attempted murder, child abuse, and negligence, and will spend between 16 and 20 years in prison. The assistant district attorney says there have been no long-term health effects on the boy, and he is healthy and happy. The statewide Click It or Ticket road safety campaign is underway through June 5th. Law enforcement officers are making sure drivers and passengers are buckled up. Violators could face a fine of up to $180. If a passenger under age 16 isn't wearing a seatbelt, the driver could face a $266 fine. Children under 8 and less than 80 pounds must use an approved child safety or booster seat. And bar owners across the state would like to see a change to some existing laws. The North Carolina Bar Owners Association has partnered with legislators to change laws surrounding membership and happy hour specials. One bill would get rid of the current membership requirement for bars. The association claims this was created to help keep people of color out of bars. Another would allow happy hour specials like discounts for single drinks or bundling food and drinks at a combo price. They say allowing drink deals would attract more customers and generate additional tax money for the state. For more on these stories, you can head over to WWAYTV3.com. I'm Matt Bennett. Have a great day.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. I'm WWAY meteorologist Ramel Carpenter with the Storm Track 3 forecast. Today, going to be warm and muggy once again. That's not going to be changing anytime soon. Highs away from the coast should climb into the middle 80s along the immediate coastline. We're going to get into the lower 80s, but we do have a chance for a few strong to severe thunderstorms to develop later this afternoon. Into the evening hours, main concern today will be gusty winds, even some frequent lightning can't be ruled out as well. As for the overnight hours tonight, our temperatures do fall below the 70-degree mark. We're falling down into the middle and upper 60s under mostly cloudy skies. Get your full forecast on WWAY and WWAYTV3.com.
This news and weather is brought to you by 2 Men and a Truck. For your free quote, go to 2menandatruck.com. 2menandatruck.com.
This show is also sponsored by Dr. Tony Maglione. Dr. Tony is a cardiologist practicing in Wilmington. He accepts Medicare patients, and his office is located across the street from New Hanover Regional Medical Center at 2032 17th Street. The office number is 202-1071. Dr. Tony is an author whose last book is Rules for Conservative Patriots, and it can be purchased on Amazon. His website is www.drtonymag.com.
Government has become too big, too overtaxing, and is constantly overregulating every aspect of your life.
If you agree with that, tune in to Consumer Choice Radio every Saturday at 10 a.m. here on the Big Talker 106.7 FM with me, Yael Osowski.
And me, David Clement. For an hour, you'll get expert analysis on what the government is sinking its teeth into next and how you, as a consumer, can push back.
ConsumerChoiceRadio.com.
Enjoying Big Talker Network is as easy as asking for it. Program your digital home assistants such as Google Home, Alexa, and Siri to stream Big Talker Network content by simple voice command. Enjoy convenient hands-free access to program whenever you want, however you want by asking for Big Talker.
Jesus, guns, babies in Georgia. Jesus, guns, babies in Georgia. What a time to be alive. You can make up songs just from a campaign slogan. Jesus, guns, babies in Georgia. I mean, it just writes itself. It's amazing. We make our own laws. We base our laws. What's interesting is if she had based all of the laws in Georgia on the Bible, she wouldn't be allowed to speak. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but women in the Bible were just not very well respected. Right? They're not to be, they were treated with less respect than children. So, and depending on which flavor of the religious book that you use, then, she should not be allowed in politics whatsoever. Isn't she glad for, equal rights? I kind of broke away from that. But hey, as long as we're being theocratic, are we being selectively theocratic? Makes you wonder. Theocracy is not a form of religion. It is actually a form of community control. Theocracy has been proven time and again to be ineffective as a political leadership tool. See how it worked out for the Mayans, right? See how it worked out for the Aztec. It's working out great for those in Afghanistan right now. The women's movement there has fallen so incredibly short that the Taliban, the wonderful human male religious folk that they are, have decided, according to their Bible, much like our own, the white Bible versus the brown Bible, I guess. I don't know what the hell how you differentiate them, but one of them says that women should not be seen nor heard. They're not allowed to be educated. They are not allowed to be out in public without a chaperone, a male chaperone, right? You can't educate them anymore, so all the schools are pretty much useless, right? Science has always been at odds with the religious belief, where, deGrasse Tyson's argument is that God appears where we have no understanding. And that's perfect. It's the plug hole since the beginning of time. We don't understand rainbows. We don't understand the rising and setting of the sun, so we gave them little god names. The one day somebody said, look, thousands of gods is very difficult to keep our hands on. We don't want to offend one god and overlap with the, stepping on the toes of another god or whatever by worshiping this god. Let's just, we're going to boil them all down like all these different alloys of metal into one homogeneous, godlike thing. And then we're going to break off a piece and we're going to call it like God Jr. or Jesus in this case. And then we're going to give Jesus a gun and then he's going to go hunt babies in Georgia. At least that's, I guess, to me it makes more sense than the crap that Candace Taylor's spewing out. And thank God she's only got single-digit support. But that single-digit support really to me, it almost requires an intervention in Georgia. Right? This type of stupidity is it's ignorance. It is displayed ignorance. It is loudly displayed ignorance. It's on a white bus for the white people, and it's on a black bus for the white people. Jesus, guns, babies. This is my argument for bringing a requirement of civics, understanding the political structure of our country. And don't wait until high school when kids already have an attitude. Introduce it to them as kids. Introduce the concept of a republic, a representative republic, democratic republic. Right? Get them interested. Get them to understand that religion has its place, and that's not a problem. But it is not within the halls of justice. It is not within the halls of the political structure. It is not in our ballots. It is not in our government. Hey, no. That separation is there for a reason. Your beliefs are not my beliefs, and I do not want to be represented by somebody whose beliefs overshadows their logic or their reading comprehension skills. That would be the other half of it. Oh, my, I miss smart people. It has really got me so bent out of shape. I don't know what else to... some of these other news stories are too far for me to go to. I mean, just ridiculous how stupid... I mean, the dime story... That was the least crazy story in that list of stories I could have pulled. The other ones just get worse. And it's like we have plenty of heinous human beings on the planet, right? And I would much rather concentrate on somebody who is not overtly grotesque as some of these other situations have been. Or would be had I discuss them on air. You can call me in. You can call into the show, and maybe you can bring it up. I don't. That's on you. But as far as appeasing the folk that I work with, I have to be a little conservative. But guaranteed, these are stories you're not going to get anywhere else, except maybe this Candace Taylor story because it's so over the top. This is the type of crazy that I just cannot abide. I mean, I admit crazy belongs in the universe. We need crazy in our universe. That's how we, view things. That's how we get a better view. We challenge our own thoughts. And again, we do have some heinous men on the planet. I mean, Madison Cawthorn comes to mind, along with Fat 45. But Florida wins. Boom. Again, written by Jason Hall, coming out of KJR Radio 93 FM, somewhere in Florida. Florida woman throws rubber snake at police and gets tasered after a high-speed chase. Genius. A Florida woman was arrested after leading police on a high-speed chase that injured 3 motorists and resulted in the suspect throwing a rubber snake at police and being tasered following multiple crashes. Dawn LaShawn, I'm not making this up, man. Your parents hate you, and this is why you're a criminal. Don LaShawn Lapardi. French is weird. Don LaShawn was charged with 4 counts of aggravated assault on a police officer, as well as fleeing and eluding, the Martin County Sheriff's Office confirmed in a post shared on his Facebook page Thursday, May 19th. The department said Don LaShawn led deputies on a vehicle pursuit after attempting to run down a Martin County Sheriff's Office motorcycle. Don LaShawn was reportedly driving between speeds of 80 and 100 miles an hour as she attempted to run down the police motorcycle. According to the department, the deputy managed to jump off the motorcycle before being struck, and Don LaShawn drove off before being located by 2 MCSO police vehicles while driving toward Indiantown. Ooh, can you say that? Indiantown? Is that... Sorry, that's what's printed here. During the lawsuit, Don LaShawn Lapard motioned to the deputies that she had a gun and drove erratically, trying to force the police vehicles to crash. Don LaShawn smashed into one police vehicle and continued, causing a rollover crash of an oncoming pickup truck occupied by 3 people at the time. Deputies were able to stop Don LaShawn, and when they approached her, Don LaShawn threw a snake at a deputy, which was later found to be rubber. The deputy deployed a taser and took Don LaShawn into custody. No deputies were hurt during the incident. Don LaShawn is being held on $90,000 bond, and police said additional charges were possible. Her mugshot is frightening. Did they tell us how old this woman is? Florida woman. I mean, they need to put... Florida septuagenarian is where we're at here. Because, yeah, this is beyond the age of knowing right from wrong. This is beyond the age of knowing better. So, yeah, the men might have Madison Cawthorn and Fat 45, but women, y'all got Candace Taylor and Don LaShawn. All right, so I think we're even, 2 and 2. And we can keep going for every one of those. You know, we still got Boebert, Green, Cortez. We still got a whole bunch in the bucket. Pelosi, right? Ready to go. So for every male that you say is such a heinous human being in the halls of representation and politics, I'm sure we can find another Candace Taylor and the thousands of people that support her in Georgia for her new death metal record, Jesus, Guns, Babies. Buy your copy today. Oh, no, it didn't. All right, so I think I skipped something here, so we're going to come back to it. Asylum, Refuge, right back.
Hello, I'm Matt Bennett with WWAY News. A woman has been sentenced to prison after leaving her newborn in a trash can. Attorneys say then 21-year-old Marjorie Macedo gave birth to a baby boy in the toilet of her home in July of 2020. According to authorities and Macedo's testimony, she left the newborn crying in the toilet for several hours. Later in the afternoon, Macedo put the baby boy in a black trash bag and placed him in the trunk of her car with temperatures in the upper 80s. She then drove to get groceries before placing the newborn, still in a plastic bag, in a dumpster behind a church off Carolina Beach Road. About an hour later, a neighbor heard the newborn crying as she walked her dog and found the baby close to death. Macedo admitted to law enforcement that she had abandoned the baby. She was found guilty on all 3 counts of first-degree attempted murder, child abuse, and negligence, and will spend between 16 and 20 years in prison. The assistant district attorney says there have been no long-term health effects on the boy, and he is healthy and happy. The statewide Click It or Ticket road safety campaign is underway through June 5th. Law enforcement officers are making sure drivers and passengers are buckled up. Violators could face a fine of up to $180. If a passenger under age 16 isn't wearing a seatbelt, the driver could face a $266 fine. Children under 8 and less than 80 pounds must use an approved child safety or booster seat. and bar owners across the state would like to see a change to some existing laws. The North Carolina Bar Owners Association has partnered with legislators to change laws surrounding membership and happy hour specials. One bill would get rid of the current membership requirement for bars. The association claims this was created to help keep people of color out of bars. Another would allow happy hour specials like discounts for single drinks or bundling food and drinks at a combo price. They say allowing drink deals would attract more customers and generate additional tax money for the state. For more on these stories, you can head over to WWAYTV3.com. I'm Matt Bennett. Have a great day.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. I'm WWAY meteorologist Ramel Carpenter with the Storm Track 3 forecast. Today, going to be warm and muggy once again. That's not going to be changing anytime soon. Highs away from the coast should climb into the middle 80s along the immediate coastline. We're going to get into the lower 80s, but we do have a chance for a few strong to severe thunderstorms to develop later this afternoon. Into the evening hours, main concern today will be gusty winds, even some frequent lightning. Can't be ruled out as well. As for the overnight hours tonight, our temperatures do fall below the 70-degree mark. We're falling down into the middle and upper 60s under mostly cloudy skies. Get your full forecast on WWAY and WWAYTV3.com.
This news and weather is brought to you by Two Men and a Truck. For your free quote, go to twomenandatruck.com. twomenandatruck.com.
This show is also sponsored by Dr. Tony Maglione. Dr. Tony is a cardiologist practicing in Wilmington. He accepts Medicare patients, and his office is located across the street from New Hanover Regional Medical Center at 2032 17th Street. The office number is 202-1071. Dr. Tony is an author whose last book is Rules for Conservative Patriots, and it can be purchased on Amazon. His website is www.drtonymag.com.
Government has become too big, too overtaxing, and is constantly overregulating every aspect of your life.
If you agree with that, tune in to Consumer Choice Radio every Saturday at 10 a.m. here on the Big Talker 106.7 FM with me, Yael Osowski.
And me, David Clement. For an hour, you'll get expert analysis on what the government is sinking its teeth into next and how you, as a consumer, can push back.
ConsumerChoiceRadio.com.
Enjoying Big Talker Network is as easy as asking for it. Program your digital home assistants such as Google Home, Alexa, and Siri to stream Big Talker Network content by simple voice command. Enjoy convenient hands-free access to program whenever you want, however you want by asking for Big Talker.
The Asylum. Your refuge in a world gone mad. Right here on the Big Talker. That's right. We're talking heroes and villains right here on the Big Talker this morning. The Asylum has them both. That's right. We call them out either way, and we've been picking on the ladies today, and I'm sorry for that. So to help elevate our friends, I'm going to bring it back something, I guess it's been about 6 years. But here's a hero of yours, a nice lady whom I've known for, I don't know her well. She was one of my favorite bartenders at one of the clubs I used to play quite a bit. Her name is Rob Ann. And, she's one of these heroes that we don't, that we neither appreciate nor deserve. Let's just leave it there. And she has stated with absolute certainty, and I concur, it's a water heater, not a hot water heater. If anything, it's a cold water heater. Water heater. Right? You don't blow up a hot water heater, you blow up a water heater. The water in it is hot, yes, but it wasn't, or else you wouldn't need a heater in the first place. Heroes, ladies and gentlemen. One of the best of American, right there. Miss Robanne Whitlock, recently married, was a great bartender for a number of years at a couple of, at least one of the clubs that I performed at a number of times, and a whole clique of folks, right? So it's not uncommon for bartenders to have a greater sense of vibe and pulse of the culture and society, etc. So yeah, It's a bit of education, right? If you don't understand why separation of church and state, if you don't understand why Jesus guns babies is a bad slogan, then maybe you need to talk to our friend Rob Ann, who can just start simply with things like water heater. Not a hot water heater, because you wouldn't need a heater. The water was already hot. If anything, it's a cold water heater. See, it's that type of logic. It's that type of intelligence. It's that type of awareness that we need more of. Instead, Georgia gets Candace Taylor. How did that happen? I mean, between the three of those, Kemp, Perdue, and Candace, the state would do good to elect Ronald McDonald, right? You'd be better to hire Dave's daughter, Wendy, at this point. Right. So I think a lot of people in the election cycle are starting to realize that, you know, the only recourse we as Americans have is our vote. And then they get mad when we do it. Because apparently Madison Cawthorn is so pissed off, he has threatened all of America with dark MAGA. Or MAGA. How is that pronounced? If you added an N, Japanese would pronounce it manga, as in the graphic novel. But since there's no N in that white supremacist political movement, get it? It's MAGA. So, yeah. He's going to release the dark MAGA. So all we've seen so far is the light MAGA. Right? Less filling, half the calories. Get ready for dark MAGA. Led by Madison Cawthorn. But if he flies to your town, you know, he could have a gun. He's probably going to have a gun with him anyway. Otherwise, he's shooting blanks. Incredible, ladies and gentlemen. This is our elected pool, right? And we could use a lot more chlorine in the political pool, I think. Maybe a little phosphoric acid. Even out the pH balance and prevent the crud slime from growing. So, yeah, I think it'd be fun to have Miss Candace Taylor on the show with my friend Andrew Donaldson from Hertel. He's one of these guys that really understands the craziness these people exhibit and how to sort of unravel them. I mean, a couple of people on her Facebook page had to understand that my argument was not necessarily because I hate the woman. I don't know her well enough to care either way. But what I really get offended by is somebody trying to tell me what religion. And she's claiming that she's not telling me what to believe, but she's basing her entire campaign on one type of a particular sect, of a particular type of religion, and a particular base. Representatives are supposed to represent people of all faiths, all religions, all creeds, all colors, all genders, all identities. But nah, this woman only wants to represent the people who believe that Jesus guns babies. In which case, there's an entire deathcore metal fandom just waiting for you. Or, if you want better than single-digit support, maybe you go to a country whose entire government is run on a theocratic basis. However, all of these places, women are not allowed to speak. They are not allowed to read. They are not allowed to be educated. If you don't believe me, Taliban, Afghanistan, girls are no longer allowed to attend school. Is that what we want in Georgia? Education is already at the bottom of the list down there anyway. Certainly civics, or this woman would understand that separation of church and state is specifically spelled out in the Constitution. And the framers at the time were hoping that future generations would become more intelligent, not more stupid. to be able to unpack the reason for separation of church and state. We are not going to establish a state religion. We can't. We are not going to. You cannot do it. The reverse is also true by extension. If you base your campaign on a religious platform, then you have pretty much alienated everybody else in your district. Because this tells everybody that your campaign is only interested in the people who believe that Jesus guns babies. And I have a friend here who can help me run this hour right over the top. Andrew, how are you doing this morning, sir?
I'm busier than a one-legged man in a butt-kicking contest. I can't get enough things done this morning. It's been
Only
crazy.
because there's an election this morning in Georgia that has me really incensed.
Why? This is going to be boring. Brian Kemp's going to win by 25 to 30 points, if not more. He's cruising to victory. Herschel Walker's going to win the GOP primary easily. Stacey Abrams is basically unopposed for the Democratic nomination for the governorship. This stuff's all pretty dyed in the wool. Sitting Senator Raphael Warnock for the Democratic Party, he'll be going up against Herschel Walker. This stuff's all pretty boring. The two interesting races here in Georgia are the Attorney General and the Secretary of State. Now, the Secretary of State made a lot of news. Remember, Raffensperger is the one who got the ire of Trump and Trump world because he refused to go along with the election of stolen crap. He was supposed to be DOA. He was supposed to not get 3 votes out of the whole state. Jody Heiss, who was a representative, very diehard Trump guy, is running against him. Somehow Raffensperger's made this thing a race. I don't know if he's going to win, but it's competitive. That's the one to watch, see if Heiss can unseat Raffensperger. Trump went big against Perdue, for David Perdue, former U.S. Senator who lost one of those Georgia runoffs that cost the GOP the Senate. He's getting just shellacked. He's getting woodshedded. He's actually kind of shut down his campaign. He's not really doing very many events. He came out here. We've got comments now from the last day or so where he told Stacey Abrams if she doesn't like Georgia, go back where she came from. She's lived in Georgia since she was 16 years old for over 30 years. So as a black woman, you can take that for however it comes across. I know how it comes across to me. He's done. He's fried. Brian Kemp has beat off the Trump insurrection where they were really mad. Georgia was supposed to be the MAGA folks' Alamo. This is where their vendetta rod was going to really come. They were going to get Brian Kemp and everybody else. They're not even scratching Brian Kemp. Brian Kemp crushed them. He's going to easily win re-election. It's really going to be an interesting dynamic to watch. Most of the rest of these races, there's some interesting congressional races, but the high-profile ones like Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's safe. She's going to easily win her election. And then these primaries. Kemp versus Abrams is going to be really, really interesting because this is a replay of last time. This is a rematch. There's whispers that, maybe Stacey Abrams isn't as strong this time. Kemp may be in a stronger position. That was close. That was only, I think, 30 or 40,000 votes between the two of them last time. It should be a very competitive race. Keep an eye on that. But no, this is going to be boring. Now, over in Alabama, we got an interesting thing where Trump backed Mo Brooks for Senate and then rescinded his endorsement. And then Brooks fell out of the polling. And now Brooks has kind of resurged back despite it. And he's pretending basically that Trump still endorses him, even though Trump rescinded his endorsement. It's this really weird thing that only somebody as despicable as Mo Brooks could come up with. So there's a couple things to watch for.
I have a question, though. Didn't
Stacey
Abrams ran for governor previously and lost?
Correct. It was a very close election. She lost to Brian Kemp.
But she was able to parlay that from being a poor black woman in Georgia to being a millionaire in Georgia. Is this the same play? Is she going to make another couple $1 million from this failure like she did last time?
Now, she's done, to her credit, she's done a lot of organizing work since then. She got a big chunk of Bloomberg money to fund her voter registration, but she did the legwork. She's put together a pretty impressive political machine in Georgia. So this isn't something like where she's just showing up and working off names. She's done the work. She's put the work in. So, that part of it might be a little unfair. The question is how competitive is she going to be? Because there's starting to be some whispers from our Democratic friends. We talked about this on Hertel a couple days ago. There's some whispers. They think she's not as strong as she was last time. Now, the conventional wisdom is this should be just about basically a replay. Nothing's really changed on the ground. there's whispers that she may not be as strong, because remember, she went through this thing where she didn't want to admit that the election was lost, that there was malfeasance and all this. She still hasn't, technically conceded, although she did come out and say that Brian Kemp was the governor after, she decided to start running for office again and had to back off it a little bit. So the stuff that she wants to level out about things like election integrity and stuff, she can't really go there because they've got all the video clips of her saying her election was stolen. So Brian Kemp's in pretty good shape here. Now again, Georgia is a changing state. It's a changing demographic state. It's diversifying. It's growing. But Brian Kemp looks, he's going to crush Purdue today by hopefully a lot, because David Perdue needs to go away and never be seen in public again. But Brian Kemp, we'll see. When we had our friend Jason Downey on a couple weeks ago, we'll get him back on. He's the head of this chairman of the State Board of Education in Georgia. He's a Kemp appointee, by the way. We got to get our biases out. But even he was saying, he's like, look, the governor, Purdue is just basically a laughing stock in the state GOP now, and Trump backing him not only didn't help, it made it worse, because now it looks like he's just trying to run off of Trump. So, yeah, it was supposed to be a marquee matchup, but kind of like North Carolina here, where that Senate race was supposed to be a marquee matchup, it's going to be a dud. This thing's going to get called at 7:05 p.m. tonight when the polls close.
Now, is Georgia a different kind of state? Like, from what I've been reading this morning, I'm under the impression that Georgia is run by the church, and their slogan is a death metal album. Jesus, guns, babies. What the hell is this about?
What is that wackadoo's name?
Candace Taylor.
This woman is just, first of all, lady, you don't run nothing when you can't crack 5% in the polls. So just hers.
1%
Second,
time.
when you put the graphic of yourself on the side of the bus, don't go with the crazy eyes picture. Just go look it up. You'll see what I'm talking about. She went with crazy eye picture on the side of the bus. It's
possessed.
not a becoming photo. This person is an utter wackadoo. They have no business being anywhere near elected office.
But I'll buy the record, Guns, Jesus, Guns, Babies. I'll buy that record. That's going to be an incredible record when it comes out.
Warren Zevon already did it. Sorry.
Oh, did he?
Oh, wait. That was Lawyers.
Lawyers, Guns, and Money. Right. We need the real one.
My bad. Don't go to Honduras and don't hook up with the Russian waitress. That's a song for you kids to go look up on your Spotify's. That's a great song, by the way. Go look that one up. Great track. Warren Zevon, an excellent artist. Werewolves in London, all kinds of great stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, calm down, hippie. But anyway, these French candidates, man. Marjorie, I was reading the Washington Post this morning. Marjorie Taylor Greene's Democratic opponent has raised more money than any other congressional race in the country. He's raised like $8 billion. He ain't going to get within 20 points of her. There's something really fundamentally screwed up with our system where the guy that's getting the most money of any congressional race in the country has zero chance of winning that race. It's all performative because everybody hates her, justifiably so. I think they ought to expel her from Congress. They should call a vote and expel her because she's unfit for office on multiple levels. Don't go to white power conferences, for example. She should be expelled from Congress, but you're not going to beat her that way. So, it's a mess. We get the government we deserve, and the people of Georgia's 14th congressional district deserve a lot of mockery and derision for having selected her. They need to get their lives together.
Now, my question that really, really gets me about this, in researching this Candace Taylor person, part of her argument, which almost held for about 3 sentences, was along the lines that the separation of church and state is only that the government cannot create or whatever a particular religion. And I get that. That's all that the Constitution says. However, the framers, I think, was smart enough to hope that we were smart enough to understand that the reverse is also true.
Look, fences work both ways.
Thank you.
Okay. The church and state was to protect the nation from the churches, plural. Okay. And it was meant to protect the churches from the state. That wall goes both ways. This is the old joke about the dog that complained about the fence, got out of the fence, got hit by the car. Like the fence is there for. There's an old joke out on the farms, like don't go tearing down fences that you don't know why they're there. They're there for a reason usually. Start letting the cattle out. Fences work both ways. This is another one of those things where there's a breakdown in the understanding of what church and state is. It's not supposed to be an armed wall where we're firing trebuchets of molten fire at each other. It's not that kind of a wall.
Boiling oil.
Separation of church and state, the concept, when it's in its healthiest form, as Jefferson laid it out, who, by the way, was not a Christian. He was a deist. Okay, big difference. In fact, he was rather animate about not liking organized Christianity of his day as he understood it, which he had a kind of a warped understanding of it, but that's another topic for another day. Then again, the things he was doing in his the things in his private life, maybe he should have read it a little more carefully. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. There's supposed to be a healthy separation, not just keeping them apart, but giving both entities a little bit of room to operate. When you separate somebody, you give them room. You give them room to, the church has to have a little bit of leeway. The state's got to have a little bit of leeway. And you need to keep them separate enough so that they can move around a little bit without constantly bumping against each other. And what's happening right now is everything either one of those entities do is winding up in court and getting ground out. And that's not healthy for the country. It's not healthy for the churches. It's not healthy for anybody. So and you get people like this who wants to weaponize church lingo, not church doctrine, because there's no doctrine about this.
Not at all.
A real church. They want to weaponize the lingo as kind of an in-group, and it becomes, these are the same people, this Taylor woman, these are the same people that gripe about identity politics. What she's doing is identity politics. She's saying all the buzzwords so that all the Christians will think she's a super Christian and you have to vote for me because I'm a Christian. That's identity politics. That's the very definition of identity politics.
Would that not be an affront to anybody who's not a member of her church?
It's an affront to anybody that can read. It's an affront to anybody that has a functional frontal cortex. It's a affront to anybody who actually cares about liberty. Because the part about liberty and freedom, if you really care about liberty and freedom, is not just you getting to do what you want to do. It's making sure that everybody has the equal opportunity to do as much as they can do for as many people as possible. And that's the difference. This person just wants freedom for everybody that thinks like them, acts like them, looks like them. That's not freedom. That's not freedom. That's not liberty. That by no definition is what she's proposing freedom and liberty. That's everybody needs to be like me, and therefore I get what I want. That's authoritarianism. It's just wearing this nice Jesus cloak and holding a Bible and singing a hymn. But that's what it is.
And that's our politics in the 21st century here in the United States.
Religion's not a good topic to bring up with me right now because, one, I've studied theology for over 20 years because I just really like it. I'm talking at the academic level and personally. I've studied a lot of theology. I'm so upset over this SBC thing. It's not good talking religion with
the two main religions in America, right? The Southern Baptist Convention and the Catholic Church are
the Southern Baptist Convention. The Southern Baptist Convention is the second biggest Christian denomination outside of the Catholic Church. Even weakened as they are and losing attendance like they are, they're still the second biggest behind the Catholic Church.
And then you add that to the Boy Scouts of America and other institutions that have been harboring this type of outrageous.
How many times have we said it? The power structures suck people in that are predators because they can operate in the power structure.
And is this not creating a new power structure under the Jesus, guns, babies motif?
Yep. Same people.
Now, would education at an early age on the Constitution be helpful to this in any way? No?
No. This has nothing to do with logical thought. This has everything to do with
because they didn't have the tools
and make me feel good. No, this is stroke me off and make me feel good. This is beyond reason. You can't reason and logic somebody that goes to that place because it's all me first and the gimme. This is all emotional. This is all, I think that, like she's talking about the Constitution stuff. She was talking about how it's in the Constitution to shoot traitors. What? No, it's not.
I don't remember that.
But she believes it because she feels it, because it feels good.
Now, if she really believed the Bible, doesn't the Bible, her hardcore religion, say that women are not allowed to speak? There are a number of churches. Right. There are a number of churches that don't allow women to speak the gospel in church.
You really want me to, we could get some people upset. Which Bible are we going to go off of? We can go deep if you really want to, but your point is valid in this respect. This is not something that you can educate and reason people out of. This is something that people have done because they've made it. Again, this is part of their identity. You're not asking them to change a policy proposal. You're asking them to change their identity. They're not going to change their identity for you. An outside force has to make that change happen to them. But when their identity is that wrapped up in that stuff, you're wasting your time. You're not going to get them back.
And this has nothing to do with religion either. This is all about trying to find some sort of...
I would argue, and I do argue, Christianity, as I best understand it, your church and your religion can be just as much an idol as anything else. Tell me these people have not made an idol out of their religious beliefs.
Oh man! And then they're looking
because religion and faith aren't the same thing. People like her, look what she's done. Jesus babies guns. She just made an idol.
Man.
And it's on a bus with her picture.
Two buses, one's white, one's black, so nobody's offended.
I mean, at least the heretical children of Israel, at least they did a golden calf. That at least makes sense. Like I kind of get that. And, I was like, well, it's a pitiful God, but at least you made it out of gold. She went crazy eyes on the side of a bus. That's kind of a crappy idol, but it's an idol nonetheless.
Man,
what are you doing? I mean, seriously, like, you're reciting a catechism. Jesus baby guns. That's the catechism of that faith, and it's sad. And
it's the other way around because guns is a verb.
To use another heavy metal lyric, it's a God that's going to fail you. That's Metallica Black Album for those of you from Logan. Yeah, okay, Black Album, track 6.
Damn, you must have a serious CD collection going over there.
Look, that came out I was 11 or 12 when that came out, so that's one of those definitive. They talk about certain periods of your life, the music, like that record was so. What is it? Sold like 30 million copies. It's in the top 10 of all time records.
Oh yeah,
it was so massive. But it came out just at that right point in my life. Like I was 11 or 12 when that hit. It came out right as everybody was getting CD players. Like there was just a lot of I remember distinctly. You want to talk? I remember distinctly the first time I heard "Nothing Else Matters." Oh. We had just walked out of church, Southern Baptist Church, by the way. Just walked out of church to the parking lot, and somebody said, "You've got to come here and hear this song." And they were playing it in a car in the parking lot of Southern Baptist Fellowship, Summersville, West Virginia. I remember that distinctly. That's the first time I'd ever heard that song. One of the best-selling singles of all time. And that real iconic finger-picked chord progression of that song, which I still know to this day because everybody knows because all it is an open E tuning. It's so freaking so like. Why did it take 70 years for somebody to figure out the strum open E tuning and make that classic song? But that's all it is.
Yeah. Sometimes the songwriting is the words.
I just taught this to my kids. 6-string 3-2-1. Do 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 do. Like it's the most simple riff ever, and they turn it into this class. I love music.
Yeah, I mean, there are times that the song is the words, and other times the song is the music. Because super simple songs like Bob Dylan, he did not win a Pulitzer Prize for being a composer.
No. But he died of a cancer spot on the top of his foot, so make sure you get those things checked out, kids.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of that, I do have a toe pain myself, and I'm not sure it's because I dropped a cabinet on my toe.
And that's enough. We're not going to talk about feet on the air. That'll wrap up our broadcasting day here at the Big Talker.
That's why we have Andrew on here, because I do not have guide rails of my own. Thank you, sir.
It's like trying to drive an arsonist through an oil factory. It's like, geez.
Heard Tell Mondays through Friday at 7 o'clock every morning from Andrew Donaldson, the managing editor of... and he's got a pretty high bar. I've submitted a piece myself and have received no remarks on it.
Oh, God.
Not even a spelling.
You got to remind me, man. I'm busy. Please remind me to do something with that. I'm sorry.
But this man is obvious. What's amazing about your show is that you can literally turn from football to politics to culture war. It's amazing.
You don't even like sports ball.
I don't.
You're one of those people that
But the fact that you can do that is amazing to me.
How good was that conversation with Ben Sears this morning?
That was solid. I mean, that's exactly why I'm mentioning it. That I did not know the subject of what you were talking about, but it was a very good interview. And with that, it brought information that was related to the event into the real world. Because these are some of the things that we do ourselves. It's amazing. So
power, money, and corruption. Gee, that doesn't apply to a whole bunch of different things.
That's what should be on the side of her bus. Just a thought, ladies.
Money and corruption. Well, she's never gonna have. She's really good at one of them. Never gonna have the other one, and the third one she's aspiring to. So I don't know.
Well, with that in mind, we will unwrap some more of this tomorrow on the Asylum, Your Refuge in a World Gone Mad, right here on the Big Talker. We will see you tomorrow. Thanks for your time, ladies and gentlemen.
Keeping Southport informed. The Big Talker 106.7 FM WFBT, Carolina Beach.
Oh, and hello, and welcome to Consumer Choice Radio, broadcasting on the 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd of May. Whatever day it might be, if you're listening on the podcast version or listening on the weekend over the radio. Welcome to Consumer